All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of module 2.1, influencers, Instagram influencers, which is exactly what we're going to talk about right now. Okay, this is not as complicated as most people, make it to be. Right. So what I want to do right now is I want to break it down for you. I'm going to give you some resources. I'm going to give you some very, very easy to implement, actionable directions here, on where you can go. There's several different ways you can go about it, but it's really, really, really simple. Okay. So let me go ahead and bring this up. And let's tackle this, since this is still all part of module 2 here. All right, we're going to take each one of these in the right order, and what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and list the resources for whatever we're going to talk about here. If there's any links I'm going to give out to you, I'll list them out either, well, it'll be somewhere in this module. Okay, so just kind of pay attention to that. So there's a couple things we need to discuss when we're talking about Instagram influencers. Okay, number one, okay, is this thing called content to market match. Okay, content to market match. So let's talk about what this means. Okay, so here is the idea. The basic scope of this particular method is this. Instagram, right, was bought out by Facebook. And right now, right, it's growing daily, but they've announced, several months ago, they're reaching close to 1 billion users on Instagram, monthly users. All right, so this is growing like crazy. I'm sure, this is not something new to you. This is not revolutionary. Everybody heard about Instagram just like Facebook, right? If you're like, what is Instagram? Then go to Instagram.com, and check it out. So from a marketing perspective, though, what we want to do is see the Instagram is a platform, right? Just like all these other ones we're going to talk about, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. These are just different platforms, right? So each one of these platforms has certain people that rise up in their status, right? A lot of them are celebrities, a lot of them are just specialized, they provide specialized niche kind of they build specialized groups around their brand, around their niche, around their topic, whatever it is that they're doing, right? And all we want to do simply is get together with those influencers, okay, and tap into their visitors, or tap into their audience, rather, and work out a deal to where they can either give us a shout out, right? Or they can post our link. In this case, it would be my link. I would pay them some money, right? And they would post my link in their bio, and then they would give me a shout out to their audience, basically redirecting their people to my link. So when their people go to my link, right, they would end up on my landing page. Now, there's a couple things I wanted to point out to you. Okay, so where's my marker here? Okay, if this is an influencer here, okay, this is an influencer here, this is an influencer here, and I'll give them, okay, and I'll give them my link. Let's say this is my link, all right, and I'll say, hey, let's say this influencer 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's say this guy has 10,000 followers. Let's say this guy has, for simple math here, 100,000 followers. Let's say this guy's got 1 million followers, right? And let's say that whatever it is that they're talking about, it matches my offer. Okay, so message to market match needs to be congruent there. Okay, so you need to be mindful of this kind of stuff, because if this guy is talking about getting fit and my offer is about bicycles, there is no match. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm selling a fitness product, or a fitness supplement, or something that has to do with his desired, with his desire, right, that he's following this account for, my offer needs to be congruent with that message of that particular account. Does that make sense? Now, this is not a rocket science. It's not like super, like over the top kind of stuff here. But here's what you need to understand. When I go and I reach out to this influencer here, I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you some resources here. How to simplify all these things. There's a manual way about doing this, and there's also a more automated way about doing this, and we'll talk about it in just a second. What I want to do is I want to have what's called a tracking link, okay? A tracking link for each one of these influencers, okay? And so hopefully in module number 1, we've added a bonus video there talking about how to set up your custom tracking link that we use, and we recommend ClickMagick for this, right? And I'll provide, we have provided the link, I believe, in that module. You can go check it out. If you did not see that video, you definitely want to make sure that you understand this concept. Structure is going to be very, very important, because if I have 100,000 people or 50,000 people coming from this guy, and I've got maybe 2,000 people coming from this guy, and maybe I've got 50 people coming from this guy, right? And I paid them different amounts of money depending on, on their traffic and, on how big their reach is. I want to be able to track how many visitors specifically I've got from this guy, right? So let's say, just for hypothetical examples here, let's say I paid this guy, I don't know, let's just say I paid him $500, okay? $500. And let's say for $500, again, this may or may not be the case here. Don't quote me on the exact numbers. When I'm recording this to you, this is a very fluid industry. This is a very fluid, market, right? So the numbers can change depending on the supply and demand, all that good stuff, right? But for simplicity numbers, hypothetical numbers here, here's how I do my math, right? So let's say if I got, get my calculator, right? Very simple. And let's say if I would give him $500 and he sends traffic, okay, to my landing page. See what I'm saying? To my landing page. This is where I build my list, okay? This is my headline here, okay? And so this is kind of the diagram, okay? And then whatever I'm promoting kind of goes here, right? So simple stuff, we talked about it. So if I get, let's say from 1 million, followers here, let's say I've got 10,000, okay? I've got 10,000 visitors to this site. How do I know that it was 10,000 visitors? See, I cannot just rely on him to tell me the data, right? I want to be able to track this manually, maybe. And so at the end of the day, what I'm going to be looking at is I need to look at, how many visitors I've got. Let's say I paid him $500, okay? $500 divided by 10,000 visitors. That's about 5 cents per visitor. Make sense? Right? So my cost per, my cost per visitor here, is about, again, hypothetical numbers here, is 5 cents, okay? Now, in order for me to track this, I need to have this to be my tracking link, okay? My tracking link. And so in Module 1, this is where all this stuff kind of becomes relevant. I mean, it's important for you to kind of watch these and, go through module by module as I present this to you, so that it makes sense on a bigger scale, right? I have my custom tracking link, okay? Custom tracking link. And again, I showed you. And then these custom tracking links would point here, okay? So when I get visitors here, and I can get massive amounts of visitors really, really quickly here, I can, at the end of the day, I can take a look at my tracking link and I can say, okay, this flow of traffic came from this influencer right here, all right? And and this is the number of visitors I've got from this guy. This is how much I paid him. So therefore, here is what my cost per click or cost per visitor to this site is. See what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to replicate this site many, many times over, because you can have 50 influencers sending you traffic. And so what I would do is I would simply create a tracking link, okay, for each one of those. Very, very simple setup. All right, but this way you're tracking each one of those individually. Does that make sense? Now, my message here on this page needs to be congruent with whatever these guys are looking for. So there's got to be a message to market match. Is tip number 1 here for this particular strategy. Okay. Tip number 2. Okay, let's go to tip number 2. Use your creative. Okay. So these are a couple things to keep in mind here. With the creative, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay, so my creative can be an image or a video. So what I would do is when I talk to influencers, right, I would ask them, I would take a look at their, their Instagram account and see which, or maybe even talk to them and see which creative will perform better, right? So what I want to know here is, do I have to create my own creative? Do I have to, make the image myself, or will you do it for me? You know what I mean? If you will do it for me, does it is included in your price? Or video, do I have to shoot a video myself, or do you guys shoot the video because you know your audiences? Ultimately, what I want to do here is since these influencers know their audience, right? This guy is operating this account here, right? Chances are, if he's doing a good job or doing what he's supposed to be doing, he knows his audience, he knows his engagement, he lives in that world. So his idea, right? His desire is to build his reach, right? He wants to build his reach and he wants to build his engagement. So it's his job to tell me what will his audience like better, right? Whether it's an image, whether it's a video. If it's a video, if I can get him to make the video on my behalf, even if it's going to cost me a little bit more, I would probably go for that because he understands his audiences better than I would understand his audience. Does that make sense? So this whole concept of, you know, I just want to get the cheap traffic is not really relevant, because at the end of the day, I'm willing to pay a little bit more money to this guy or this guy, right? You get the point here, for him to create and produce a better creative, because a better creative with maybe that would cost me a little bit extra, you know, a few bucks extra, but it would get me, instead of, you know, 10,000 visitors here, again, hypothetical numbers, maybe if I did my own video, not really knowing his audience that well, maybe if I give him my creative, it might get me 3,000 visitors instead of 10,000 visitors. So that extra little bit that I would pay him for him to create a video for me on my behalf, promoting my stuff, right? Promoting this landing page, it would be well worth in return. See what I'm saying? So keep that in mind, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about tip number next here, okay, which is tip number 3, which is my strategy, okay? Now, here's what I want to do, okay? I want to sell, and this is going to be my strategy, okay? Sell the result, not product, okay? So it's very, very important, okay? When I talk to an influencer, I want to get a very good idea of what kind of stuff his people or his audience are into, okay? So let's say if it's, you know, let's just take a look at my niche, for example, right? People are interested in making money, building business, lifestyle, cars, all that stuff, right? So if somebody is interested in that kind of stuff, right, do they really want to, you know, hear about traffic product? You know, do they really want to hear about some kind of a opportunity, right? Not really. These guys are into lifestyle. See what I'm saying? So understanding the result that these audience are looking for, or the kind of stuff they're into, and if my product, whatever it is that I'm selling over here, okay, which this is your product, this is your page, because at the end of the day, my only goal here, okay, when I reach out to these influencers, is not to necessarily get sales here, okay? I want them to be intrigued enough with my landing page so that they can get on my list, okay? I'm paying these guys for either shout out, okay, or link in the bio, for them to promote my landing page. It's not about how many visitors I get as much as how many of those visitors will turn into subscribers on my list. Does that make sense? It's very, very important for everybody to understand this. You know, sales will come if they can connect with whatever message is on this page. And this page, again, tip number 3 is your strategy, right? I'm going to sell the result that this product, okay, can deliver. Okay, so this landing page, again, going back to, I think it was module number 1 where I talked about this. So whatever the result these guys are after, okay, I would like to portray those types of messages on my landing page, okay, and this becomes a byproduct, a means to an end. Does that make sense? But really, ultimately, I'm looking for a couple things here, okay? I'm looking for what my cost per visitor is to this page, and also what's my cost per an opt-in, okay? Cost per lead, okay, CPL. And if I will, you know, I'll keep track of those metrics through my landing page here. And then what I want to do is I want to create a list. I want to compile, okay, my own directory, if you will, okay, of influencers, individual influencers that I can go to that produce good results for me, okay? Not every influencer that you go to will get you the results that you desire, okay? So let's do this. Let me just kind of show you a more of an automated way. I guess that'll be probably the simplest way to go about this, okay? I mean, manually, you would basically just go to Instagram, right? Instagram.com and just search, look for the accounts. And if you like the account, if they have big following or good engagement, just reach out to the owner of the account and talk to them. Just say DM him and strike a conversation, right? Say, hey, here's what can you do a shout out for me? Can I pay you to do a shout out for me? That's more of a manual process way. Not something that you probably would want to you'd probably be very excited about. So let me show you a more automated way that you can go about doing this. Okay, in just a second here. Okay, I'm going to give you a few websites in just a second. Okay, that you can take a look at. Okay, and we can take a look at them together. Okay, the first one I'm going to go will be Isaiah.com. Okay. Oh, I think it's wrong. There you go. And what I'll do is I'll list them below as well for you to check them out. Okay. This site right here. We'll load them up. Load up another one. Okay, another one is Shoutcart. Okay, shoutcart.com. This is actually a good one. All right, another one I'm going to show you, ifluence.com. Okay, so take a look at these here. So what I can do, one way I can go, again, as this world is getting smaller and smaller, the platform is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's getting easier and easier for us marketers, right, to tap into channels of traffic like this, and go to like a directory or go to like an agency or go to an influence gathering place. So some of these companies, obviously, they exist because they take. They work out a deal with influencers. So if I can go to this company, like iFluence, for example, right? It would be something like this. I go to, I'll give you a little diagram here. Okay, kind of eliminates a lot of the heavy lifting on my part. Okay, so I go to, okay, maybe it's like this. All right. I go to this company here. Okay, ifluence.com. All right, and I say, hey, I'm dealing with you guys. Okay, I need to send traffic here. Okay, what you would do is you would create a campaign. Okay, and this campaign would go out through this network, and they will reach out to their influencers on their network. See what I'm saying? And then this campaign would bring me traffic to my site. In this case, it would be my landing page. Does that make sense? So in this case, I'm dealing with a middleman here, which becomes a network or a directory of influencers. Okay, it's very, very easy. All right, I'll show you that in just a second here. And so what happens here is I'm dealing with one source, and then these guys' job is to optimize my campaign. Okay, for the most part. And then what I'll do is I'll keep track of the results I'm getting from these guys, and then I can, they will give me a dashboard. Let's say when you log into their account, I'll show you in a second here. They'll give you a dashboard showing you exactly which influencers the traffic is coming from, how many clicks you've got, how many visitors you've got from each individual influencers. So I can utilize a middleman, like a network, okay, like a directory, if you will, and let these guys do heavy lifting for me. And then my suggestion would be for you is if you find that this guy, let's say, produces above average results, okay, or maybe you like this particular influencer that's getting you traffic and that's converting, okay, what you can do is then you can bypass, okay, you can bypass this network later on, and I would just deal directly with that particular influencer, because most of these network will be pretty transparent with you, and they'll show you where the traffic is coming from, which influencers. Does that make sense? Okay, so take a look at this here, and again, I'll list them out, below in the resource section. iFluence here, for example, this is a place where brands and influencers meet. Okay, so again, their directory. Okay, fast and easy. It's a win-win, impactful. So they give you a over here. All right, you can see how many registered influencers worldwide. They got over 14,000 registered influencers. This guy's got 9,000 followers, 96,000 followers, 250,000 followers, 334,000 followers, as you can see here, right? 2,000 followers. So your cost, okay, will depend on the number of followers or how big the influencer is, okay? I don't want to spend too much time on it. My idea here, my friend, is not to give you specifics, okay, click here, click here, click here. I want you to understand the strategy, how the strategy works, okay? This is a phenomenal strategy. It can get you traffic really, really fast. I don't have to necessarily work on creative. I don't have to work on building up my pools of people. I can just tap into somebody who already has that, right, with the right offer. Make sure that you're matching your offer, that it matches what you're promoting, and you can get these guys to send you the traffic. It's really, really that simple. Okay, here's another one, Shout Card. Okay, so Shout Card is a directory of shout-outs. Okay, so they're a directory of a lot of different influencers. Okay, let me expand this as well. Okay, so you can see, right, influencer marketing by shout-out. Okay, and so as you can see here, they claim quality influencers. Again, I cannot personally and will not personally vouch for any one of these companies because they're third party. They have nothing to do with the 4%. Okay, I'll give you a direction. I'll list a whole bunch of them, in the resources section of this particular section of this module. Okay, but these guys, some of these companies that I'm featuring here, like Shoutcard, they give you good dashboards. Okay, so details and statistics. I personally checked them out, right? So I feel confident enough for me to recommend them to you. So check it out. This one's got 3.9 million followers. Okay, one shout out will cost you $280. Okay, so I can go here and I can click on this, and I can see their score, right? 4.6. This is based on the, how other people reviewed them. So it becomes like a directory, okay, when they joined this directory, all that. So this one's got 2 million followers, right? This particular account, $70, okay? 1.1 million followers, $50 per shout out, okay? Now, what's a shout out? A shout out, it can be either an image post or it can be a video post that these guys can go out there for you, right? And they can do it for you. So 217,000 followers. Now, what I would be looking at, okay, is I would look at, here of course they give you some statistics, some data here, best time to post, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., et cetera, et cetera. But what I would do, okay, is once you create an account here, you would go and check out this account, okay, Cute Cat Kittens. So, if you're into, cat kind of stuff, or you're selling products that has to do with cat stuff, right, then it might be something you would be looking into, right? But what I would look is I would look at their engagement. Okay, shout out is good, but I would look at, if they make a post, if they make a video or an image post, how many people are liking it, how many people are engaging, how many people are commenting on it. Okay, this one has got 550 or 65,000 followers, and one shout out is going to cost you $400 or whatever the price is. Okay, what was the price on this one? Okay, success rate 100%, but the score though, all right, is 3.12. See what I'm saying? So this I would be a little iffy about. See what I'm saying? This one is $3,000. So again, you get what you pay for. Okay? Do your own research, my friend. I don't want to point out any one of these individuals depending on which product you're promoting, which industry you're promoting. But here's what you can do. Okay? You can register for free. Doesn't cost you anything. Right? Just browse around. Okay? Do not spend a lot of money. What you want to do, okay, there's a lot of influencers. Okay, the bigger this space grows, the bigger the platform grows. Instagram will, reaching 1 billion users, and depending when you watch this or when you pick this product up, could be well over 1 billion users. All right, and it's ever growing. Right, it's part of Facebook. So needless to say, this is worldwide. Right, what you can do is you can be in any country as long as there is an Instagram availability in that country, and you can find influencers to tap into. Okay, and so check them out. Okay, my goal is to utilize a network, a directory. This way, you can you can shotgun your approach, right? You can shotgun your strategy, and you can have 50 of these influencers, for example, depending on your budget, of course. But you can request, right, shout outs from, let's say, 10 of them, all right, at the same time. Use individual tracking link for each one of them, right, that you request. Take a look at how many visitors you got from each one of them versus how many opt-ins you got from each one of them. Track how much it's costing you to get a visitor, and also how much you're paying to acquire a lead from that particular shout out, okay? And then what you would do is you would create your own directory, work out a relationship, right? Strike a relationship with these influencers personally and say, hey, if I get great results from you, I'll be buying more, shout outs from you, right? So let's do business. And so these guys are growing. They're focusing on growing their reach and expanding their accounts and making them bigger. And so as they're growing, and if they do good enough job for you, and if you like the results, you can always come back to them over and over again, right? And you can tap into the traffic. But you building out this pool of, vetted influencers that you can come back to over and over again at any time, it's like you digging your own well of water to drink out of, right? In this particular channel of traffic. Does that make sense? So that's one of them. Another thing I want to show you, okay, and this is significant enough for you to point out. There was an article, okay, on Forbes, and they listed top 15 top Instagram influencers. Okay, right here, let me put this up. 15 top Instagram influencers you should follow, okay? Number one influencer they listed here to follow is Daily Dose, okay? I personally know Tim Karsliev here from Daily Dose personally, okay? In fact, he created a training for the 4% called Instagram Traffic Mastery, okay? Here in 4%, you can check it out if you don't have access to that yet. But Tim Karsliev is a friend of mine, all right? And he's a contributor, and he has a big, giant network on Instagram, okay? His Daily Dose account, let's say we can go to, here is his account. So he's got, on this particular account, he's got 1.2 million followers, okay? But he's got a network, okay? And so what I can do is, maybe we can do this, okay? I can put him out as a resource as well for you. I cannot, like, I can't, at the time of me shooting this video for you, right, that, I can show you what I can show you as of today, right? Again, my goal here is to portray to you a strategy that you can use and expand upon. You see what I'm saying? And then dig your own well of water to drink out of. Let me tell you why. If I tell you, okay, go to this site and get your traffic just from this influencer, and there is thousands of people who purchased Internet Traffic Mastery, right? And everybody would rush there to that one resource, right? It's not gonna work for anybody. What I would rather do is explain to you a broader scope, right? How you can go out there and dig these out for yourself. It's like those gems, right? Gold, it's like mining for gold. You might have to go through some dirt, and that's okay. Just sift through some dirt, metaphorically speaking, to get the golden gems that you're looking for, those gems you're looking for. But I'm telling you, it's going to be well worth it, right? So this way, you're not really competing with anybody else because there's so many of them out there. You can utilize the networks. You can go. I can give you. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can get a hold of Tim right now, and maybe I can talk to him. Give me one sec, and we can talk to him about this influencer, Instagram influencer arena, okay, that landscape and what it's looking like right now. Let's see if you can get a hold of him, because I can list him out as one of the resources for you to go, just because he's got a broad reach, he's got a lot of, a big reach, and I know they're in different niches and that kind of stuff as well. So let's go ahead and talk to him and see what's good. Yo, Tim, what's up, man?
Hey, Vic, how's it going?
A long time, brother. I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. How's the holidays?
Oh, it's, holidays are always great, man.
Yeah.
Great time, family time. Hey, I'm recording a segment on Instagram influencers, Tim.
Okay.
literally in the middle of recording. Hope you don't mind me, just so you know, for full transparency, I'm actually in the middle of shooting a video right now. And, we're talking about the landscaping of the, how there's a whole bunch of different networks popping out right now, and the game is getting easier and easier to play with all these influencers. At the same time, there is, some marketers like myself, sometimes we have to go through some dirt to find the gems, because a lot of
Yeah,
the,
it's always like that.
yeah. So you're listed as, I just actually showed the article from Forbes, and they listed you as #1 influencer to follow on Instagram right now. So congrats to you on that one, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a hard one to get.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
took
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of work.
So I wanted to talk with you as according to Forbes, one of the top influencers. What is the landscape looking like right now, Tim? What are you guys seeing out there? I know, how big is your network?
Well, I mean, the network keeps on growing. When that article came out, I believe Instagram was around like 700 million users. Now it's probably close to who knows what. My network
Yeah.
is getting bigger and bigger because we've expanded from the one platform to around. So at least a minimum, at least 200. I haven't done the math to be honest with you, Vic.
So you would say at least 200,000 people.
No, at least 200 million within the whole community that
200
I'm a
million.
part of. But within my fingertips, I have around like 3-4 million.
Okay, so the entire network is about 200 million. What kind of niches you guys in?
So we have fitness niche, we have motivation niche, business niche, we have food niche, model niche. I mean, it just keeps on going.
Okay,
Product niche.
okay, got it. And will you guys do shout outs, link in bio? What's your I mean, if I was to recommend you or your network as one of the influencers that people can go check out, how do you guys operate?
So the way it operates is someone will reach out to me and let me know what they're looking to get done.
Mm-hmm.
We will look at the content first, make sure the content's good. And for me, I just look at the content, not that the content's good, if it's something good for people too to look at too.
Yeah.
So I go through the process. If it's really bad content, it's like really commercial, doesn't have a smoothness to it or finesse, I'll let them know the content is not good enough to be on the platform itself, and no one's really going to want to post that. But if it's good content, we usually will see what it is, and we'll come up with like an hourly rate, or if they want to do something longer than that. But we could do like hourly, Vic. We could do 24 hours. We could do, a week long link in the bio. We could do a month long. But most people don't want to do that now.
Yeah.
They'll probably do within a couple hours. And then going to the price side, everything's different. Just matters what they're providing us. So a link in a bio, or a shout out, or traffic, or however you want to call it, or if you're just looking for direct traffic, if we do that, it could be anywhere from, let's say, $200 to, it matters who you want to use. If you want to use a big time celebrity, it could cost you $20,000, but just matters what you want. But I'd say it starts from at least comfortably, at least $200 with a reputable brand.
Got it. Okay, so if I have an offer, and that's one of the things that I want to make sure that people understand is it's not like, don't sell product. You want to appeal to the result, to the desired outcome of the follower of the account. Like, people don't really care about buying products necessarily. They want to get a certain result that the product can deliver. What is, let's say if I don't have a creative, right, an image or a video, is this something that your team can do for me? Is this something that I have to hire a talent to do for me? Do you have
Yes.
that ability?
We do have the ability to do that, but except that slows down the whole project, And the reason is because you never know what the content is or what the person's looking for. But we do have a team that can create the videos for you. If it's a straight image, we could probably do that for ourselves. Or if you have something that's, within, like, if it's something right now pretty trending, it's out there, we could utilize that, pick it up, for example. Let's say, for example, you want to talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
There's so much Bitcoin pictures out there, we could probably find one that's appealing to the community. But other than that, yes, we do have a creative team. But when you come through our creatives, it kind of slows the process down. So you can't be like, hey, Tim, I need this today, and I don't have anything. It won't work out that way.
Yeah. That makes sense. But what I'm saying though is you guys do custom work with people if needed.
Yeah, we can create custom motivational videos that are linked towards that, or we can have a special, like if you find, let's say, for example, somebody who talked about something on the web somewhere, we could take that voiceover and put it over some video content that's going to capture someone's attention to watch the video, listen to what that person's saying. Or if you want to do your own voiceover, or if you want to just clear something around that niche, or we could literally just create a video with text on it, however you want it.
Got it. And
yeah, there's no limit to it, Vic, to be honest with you.
Got it. Okay, cool. So that's good to know. So multiple niches. You got a network big enough that can accommodate. That's why I'm I'll recommend. I'll actually include you part of the resources, which I'll get you the website off camera here. That we can include.
Vic, I'll tell you. I was going to tell you if they want, we can even have people with cameras fly down to where they're at. We can make their video and use that. I mean, it matters how far they want to go. We can literally send creators, to their place, wherever in the world they're at. We can send somebody there to video record them.
Got it. So it can be definitely custom, depending, because there's going to be people, from all kinds of different niches and walks of life, watching this particular training that I'm putting out.
There's no limit. Real estate, like you said, real estate, if it's a digital product, if it's literally a tangible product.
Okay.
There's no limit to it.
Hey, what lastly, man, I was gonna ask you something.
See, sorry if I cut you off.
This is the cool thing about keeping it like workshop style. What kind of traffic can you guys do? Do you have any? I know this kind of it's going to depend on the niche and that kind of stuff. But you have any idea like how many visitors you guys delivered in the past, or give me any ideas?
Yeah, so I mean, lately we've noticed that Instagram is actually trying to control the marketplace, but we go back to the creatives again on this. Mm-hmm. But we do some massive traffic, Vic. Like for example, like on a daily base, we could easily do at least 10,000 leads, and that's like 10,000 people going to visit a landing page or wherever you want us to send them to, maybe an Amazon store or maybe, mm-hmm. I don't know, I'm just making it up,
Yeah.
But about 10,000 people will move easily. We could probably, and if it's something more than that we need, we can expand.
Got it. And you got connections, if you need to link up the, my clients with anybody else that, depending on what they're looking to achieve, that kind of stuff, they can definitely reach out and talk to you.
Yes. So when it comes down to like big campaigns, that's exactly what I do think. When it comes to somebody saying, "Hey Tim, I got a budget of let's say $10,000, for example," mm-hmm. obviously and they want a short period of time. I can't spend all that money on myself. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So I would be sharing the money with a whole bunch of other people within my network to get a certain project.
Got it. All right, Tim. Sounds good, bro. I will get the we'll get your contact info here, and we'll display it in the resources section of this module.
Okay, thank you, Vic. Cool. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, Tim.
Working with anybody who does want our services.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Right.
Okay, everybody. So that's Tim Karsliev. Again, great guy. I worked with him before. I know he's a player. He's got several accounts, and they have different accounts coming together for a network. So Daily Dose is one of his accounts. There's Gentleman's Mafia. I think it's another one with I don't even know how many followers he got, but tons. So he's pretty diversified, if as you've heard. But that's kind of the name of the game here with influencers. You reach out, you find an influencer, right? You work with him directly. It's not like click a button and leads show up necessarily, right? Because you can do custom campaigns, and that's what I would actually recommend you do. Is you take a look at their wall, on Instagram. You take a look at their account. You take a look at the aesthetics of their page, what kind of images they're putting out, what kind of images get, what kind of engagement an image gets, right? And get a sense of what you have to work with. This is something, it's one of those things where put a little bit more effort into it, right? Work out a custom campaign, test it out, right? Make sure that you put, when you work with an influencer, and you pay them for a shout out or a link in a bio, just talk to them. They're interested in working with you and helping you get the result that you want, because if you get what you want, chances are you'll probably come back to them and pay them money. Now here's a little secret for you. You want to hear a little secret? Come closer. Check it out. A lot of these influencers on Instagram, their money is coming from shout outs from people like myself. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these guys, they're not necessarily marketers. A lot of these guys, they build large following, right, on their accounts. A lot of people follow them. A lot of people paying attention to what they're saying, but they're not marketers, right? So it's in their best interest to work with me and get me the result that I want so that I can come back and do more business with them. See what I'm saying? So work with them, talk to them, say, hey, I want to work with you long term. What do you need from me? Let's work it out. Right, negotiate with them. I would negotiate with every one of them you talk to, right? Go through the networks, check it out. I'm going to list some links in the resources section, including Tim's contact. All right, talk to them, and that's your, that's how you work with Instagram influencers to get your traffic. Tap into their following, get the traffic your way, and you're off to the races. Okay, so look, I'm going to go ahead and call this a wraps. I will see you in the next segment of this particular module. We're going to talk about Snapchat influencers and then Twitter and so on, okay? Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.